welcome you to the Friday edition of AFA Today. Kevin McCullough is my name, and I am always thrilled to have you with us, especially when we've been together the whole week. It's kind of a fun way to end things as we head into the weekend. And we, of course, are keeping our eye on everything that's important around you. I know that there are still lots of questions about, Hobby Lobby and the Supreme Court and some of the stuff that has been being followed, and we've championed and talked about here on the broadcast. But if anything vital does break, we'll update you on it right away. We've got, of course, the full strength of One News Now standing by as well, and they're keeping their eye on everything. And we are desiring to keep you informed about that as best we can. This weekend, there is going to be a ton of stuff that is going to be, I think, rather embarrassing that some people are going to have to take back. And some of these people are my friends. Some of these people are people that have that I do trust, that I do interact with. Some of them even right here in the Metro of New York that are actually on the same team as I am, fighting the good fight, desiring to be a helpful and vital encouragement to the cause. But I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in some people. I'm disappointed in Glenn Beck today. I'm disappointed in some others that have gone out and made statements about things that they don't know what they're talking about. And I don't think whatever you are choosing to be a commentator on, and I don't care if it's, the most vibrant pro-life argument you can make, or the issue of marriage or culture or anything else, I don't think you do the body of Christ or the conservative cause as a whole any good if you do so from an ignorant place. A place that says you've not investigated the actual issue at hand, but that you have trusted, quote unquote, others to do that due diligence for you, and then you go out and based on what they say, then you go out and make all kinds of assertions. And let me give you an example of what I mean, because I've been guilty of doing the same thing. I have not had my exact facts in order. My early life in writing op-eds, in those of you that know, I write a syndicated column each week. But when I was a very, very young writer, before any of my books or anything, I relied upon a piece of information, word of mouth, not written down, not quoted accurately, not sourced properly. And I made this argument that went into this piece, that went around the world, and people started reacting to it. And the person that it was about, that it was not entirely accurate about, got very upset and pushed back, and actually forced me to print a retraction and to do some other things. It was a very, I look at it now as a very good lesson to learn, that I learned very inexpensively, given what people do nowadays with some of that stuff. So I think it's really, really vital that anytime we are going to take public stands on things, either for something or against something, we're going to throw a flag in the ground and say, this is what I think. I think it's really incumbent, if we're going to be people of integrity, that we do that on the basis of knowledge, that we do it on the basis of truth, that we do it on the basis of actually know something about what we're talking about. Now, there have probably been no less than, maybe 300 to 500 people that have either emailed me, Facebooked me, asked me in person, asked me on the telephone, asked me in any number of other scenarios what my thoughts are about the film Noah that opens tonight in most places across the country. I have not given an opinion on any of it up till this point in time, because for the first and foremost reason, I had not seen it. I did not know for myself what it was going to contain. I will give you some of my hesitations up front. The man who produced it is an observant Jewish practitioner of something that's not traditional Judaism, and it's not Christianity, and so there's this weird influence in his life. But he grew up fairly traditionally Jewish, and in fact, he wanted to do a film about Noah based on a poem that he wrote, based on the biblical story of Noah when he was 6 years old. And at the premiere this week here in New York, he actually had his first grade teacher come and read that poem to the people that were gathered there before they screened the film. It was actually quite touching. I was quite surprised. This man's name is Darren Aronofsky, and there's not a film that he's produced that you would recognize that you could even consider family friendly. There's nothing that he's done in his career that would fit that mold. And what he's most famous for is a rather vulgar movie called The Black Swan that had all kinds of sexual inappropriate stuff in it and a bunch of other things. So immediately when I knew the production team behind this film, I already had red flags going off. And people are asking me, Kevin, what do you think about this movie? What do you think about this movie? And I said, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. And I believe it's a sin to go out and espouse things about things that you don't know. And I don't care if you're an evangelist. I don't care if you're a public commentator. I don't care if your name is Beck. I don't care if your name is Comfort. I don't care who you are. If you haven't seen it, don't say anything about it. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't say things out of ignorance. Say things instead like, I have not seen it, but if it is this, or this, then I will not support it. And if it is this, or this, then I will. There's no need to paint oneself into a box that you may, in fact, later be embarrassed to try to wrestle with. And by the way, I just want to make it really clear, all of the opinions in this broadcast today are mine. And speaking with the powers that be, they did give me the blessing to talk about this today, but it was very clear that this was just going to be Kevin McCullough's perspective on this, and I want to make sure that you understand that from the very beginning. But I don't think, well, I can't say that either. It is also my opinion that you should not talk about things in a pejorative or a positive way that you don't know anything about. That's why on this broadcast, we've brought on people like Kevin Sorbo and David A.R. Clark and Rick Santorum and all the people that have had stuff to do with these films. I want you to get to know the heart and feel and mind of what's actually in the film as much as I can without being able to show you the film on the radio. What did I say? I don't know what that. Okay, it was David A.R. White. I don't know why I said Clark. That's David A.R. White was the producer for God's Not Dead. But they came in, they sat with me for a full hour, and we wanted you to have a behind-the-scenes kind of feel for that. All right, so all of that. So people by the hundreds have said, Kevin, what do you think? What do you think? They also know that I run a little media company here in New York. My business partner is the actor Stephen Baldwin. We do a lot of work in the industry from the standpoint of relationship building, and we're trying to influence the industry to do more things that faith and family-friendly audiences can consume, because I think at the end of the day, that's just better for our culture all the way around. And I've said this already. This is going to be the most incredible blockbuster year for faith and family-friendly films that has ever existed, because the Christian films alone are off to a record start. Son of God and God's Not Dead, incredible box office takes right out of the chute. You're going to see a number of other films that are either faith-centric or faith-friendly, family-friendly, family values, that are all going to be kind of in this vein of discussing values or faith or biblical stuff in that way most of the year. So there's a lot of good positive news to report on that. Now, so people have been saying, Kev, this blockbuster's coming out. It's got Crow. It's got all these people in it. It's produced by this guy Aronofsky. What is your opinion of it? And I said, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'll give you my opinion when I actually see and screen the film. And again, this is only my perspective on this. I'm not speaking for anyone else except Kevin McCullough. So I did go and see it this week. I actually was at the premiere here in New York, and I got to hear Aronofsky talk about why he wanted to do this film. I got to hear from some of the cast members who said what they liked about working on it. I have seen some of the wild things that they have said in the media. For instance, Aronofsky said this is the least biblical film that's ever been made, and people have shortened that to this is just the least biblical film that's ever been made. Asked about that specifically, he was actually referring to the old time kind of biblical films, the Ten Commandments, these types of things that had these very aged looks to them. What he was actually discussing in that statement, in that response, it's another reason why it's important to have facts straight. He was referring to the special effects. He was referring to the way that the film can be made to look on a big screen now, that it will look nothing like past biblical epics. That's what he was actually referring to in that statement. The only reason I give you all this information is because you're gonna probably ask me about it or have questions about it. Anyway, I said on Facebook yesterday, after speaking with the powers that be and thinking it through and praying about it, I said, okay, what I'll do is I'll give my perspective on Noah today. I'll let you ask any question you want to ask about the film, my thoughts on it, the production team behind it, the value of the film, et cetera, et cetera. I'll let you ask anything you want to ask that I have not asked, that I've told you I would not ask in the past 5-6 weeks, because now I have seen it. Now I have thoroughly read the press materials that came with it. I've interviewed some of the people behind it. They actually had a biblical consultant that was on staff. I had a long interview with him the other day. And I'll be willing to answer any questions that I can about the film Noah. But I just want to caution us. Nobody's per se endorsing this film. No one's not endorsing the film. I was on Todd Starnes' Facebook page today, and Todd, I have great appreciation for Todd. I think Todd does a fine job over at the Fox News Channel. And he pointed his readers to a Time magazine review, and he said, I want you to read every word of this review, and then I want you to think about all the Christian leaders that have spoken in favor of the film. Now, the difference in Todd Starnes and the Christian leaders that have spoken in favor of the film is that the Christian leaders that have spoken in favor of have seen the film, and to my knowledge, Todd Starnes had not yet seen it. Now, he again is drawing some particular perspective on it from what the Time magazine article wrote about it, some of what other people have said about it, other people, producing competitive movies by the same name out for sale the same week. There's all these other people that have spoken about it. None of them have seen it. And few of them have gone to the level of in-depth preparation that I have today to be able to answer your questions. So I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to have a straight-up, honest conversation about this. And I will give you my perspective on this film. And it's going to be a mixed bag. I'm going to tell you right up from the beginning. There were things about this film that I loved. There were things that I didn't. I will, and I'll try to give you as much information for yourself so that then you can decide whether you want to go vote for it by spending dollars for it or not. But it's not going to be a simple, easy black or white kind of discussion today. It's not like the World Vision discussion. We're going to have to use some critical binge thinking in how we process the next few minutes, and I hope you'll do that with me. Kevin McCullough, glad you're with us. We're also wanting you to tell us your testimonies of how AFR and AFR Talk have made a difference in your life. And that number is 877-876-8893. That's 877-876-8893. Share-a-thon's just around the corner, and we want to be able to feature your story as part of that. I'm Kevin McCullough. This is AFA Today on AFR Talk. Stay with us.